to have the requisite knowledge and belief in the digital agenda, and so he's asking Ghanaians, especially the belief in the digital agenda, and so he's asking Ghanaians, especially the NPP faithfuls, to not kick the country back into the hands of the NDC because everything they have built may eventually go waste, and so they want to build on what they have done in the past 8 years as president and vice president of this country. He and Nana Akufo-Addo.
Well, Charles, you mentioned that there are thousands of supporters there. Have you been able to speak to some of these supporters and why they think that Dr. Bawumia is the right candidate?
You asked me if I've been able to speak to.
I'm asking if you've been able to speak to some of the supporters there and why their reason for why they think Dr. Bawumia is the right candidate.
Well, they believe that Vice President Bawumia is the right candidate for the NDC because he helped the party win the 2016 and 2020 elections because of his knowledge and his experience as an economist. They believe that the country deserves someone like that because of his digitalization agenda. They believe that is going to a certain direction where digitalization is going to be important. And so someone who has a vision like that deserves to lead the NPP. And generally, they just believe that he has the quality and he has the appeal to be able to lead the NPP in the 2024 general election, to be able to break the eight as the party has been calling for. So they believe Dr. Bawumia is the right choice. And so they are asking other delegates who are not here to vote for Bawumia come November because he's the NPP's best bet.
Well, Charles, before we let you go, we know that two candidates now, Alan Chamating and now Dr. Bawumia. Do we know who is next to file nomination?
Hello, Roman.
Charles, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm asking that now we know that Alan Chamating and now Dr. Bawumia have filed nominations. Do we know who is next to file?
Presently, no, we have no idea who is coming next. The NPP does not actually have a list of people who are coming to present their nomination forms. So it's not really structured like that. So as and when they are ready, the candidates will inform the party and then they will come and present all the nomination. We only know of Alan and now Dr. Bawumia. The other 8, they don't know when exactly filing their nomination form.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That was my colleague Charles Owuzukumi, who is reporting from the NPP headquarters where Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has filed nominations to contest the NPP presidential primaries.
Let's move away from politics now because old students of the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale have stressed the urgent need for a fence wall to be constructed around the school premises. They have observed that the absence of a fence wall has resulted in indiscipline among students and encroachment by members of the community who engage in activities such as open defecation and other inappropriate behavior on the school grounds. To address this issue, the old students have taken it upon themselves to initiate the construction of the fence wall, which was originally started by the government a decade ago but left unfinished. However, a disagreement has arisen with a section of the Kuku community as they were allegedly responsible for pulling down a portion of the wall. Alhaji Alhassan Abubakar is an old student and the chairman of the fence wall committee, and he has called for an urgent intervention during an interview with City News.
That we have started doing. You would have seen a lot of vehicles, motorbikes, what have you, crisscrossing the school any time of the day, any time of the night, and people come in any time. And when when the students are in class, they move out at any time, and that is a problem for the teachers. So when this is done, I think we'll be able to maintain some level of, discipline among the students. Because right now, if we are able to check them from going out indiscriminately, then we can be able to instill some amount of discipline in them.
Mr. Abubakari says that a series of stakeholder engagements have been done to ensure the construction of the project, but there are still challenges.
We have engaged the Usena, we have engaged the Kukuna, and the regional minister himself has come to engage all of us. The police commander has engaged all of us. And the first time we met with the Usena, who is the overlord of this area, indicated that the building of this wall has been long overdue. We should have done it a long time ago. We said, well, this thing was given to contractors, and because of early release of funds, the contractors have abandoned it. So we decided that we do the project through our contributions. So because of that, we levied each year group some amount of money to pay so that we'll be able, and all students are doing it. But if not for this problem, I think we would have received enough money now to do the whole thing. But the problem has stalled the contribution a bit. But we are encouraging all the year groups to ensure that they support the construction of this project.
Alhaji Al-Hassan Abubakar is an old student of the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale.
Now to some other stories. The Civil and Local Government Staff Association Ghana CLOCSAG in the whole municipality has instructed its members working in the whole municipal assembly to resume work starting next Monday. Previously, CLOCSAG had directed its members to suspend work in response to demands made by assembly members to remove the municipal finance officer, which CLOCSAG deemed as an act of terrorism. Following the suspension of their strike, CLOCSAG has issued a warning that if similar actions are taken by the whole municipal assembly members in the future, they will respond accordingly. The association pointed out the need for a conducive working environment and fair treatment of its members.
In more stories, the final group of pilgrims for this year's Hajj pilgrimage is scheduled to depart from the country on Saturday, June 17, 2023. More than 3,000 pilgrims will participate in this annual event, with over 5 flights having already departed through the Tamale airport bound for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and is considered mandatory for all physically and financially capable Muslims to perform at least once in their lifetime. The Hajj Board's Executive Secretary, Alhaji Farouk Hamza, tells Citi News that all necessary arrangements have been put in place to ensure a successful pilgrimage this year.
From Tamale, we did 5 flights, as you are probably aware. We are hoping to do same here in Accra. As we speak, we are still finalizing registrations for pilgrims. So we are hoping to do about 5 flights as well from here in Accra. Tomorrow, the flight time is scheduled for around 7 p.m. tomorrow, so we should start checking in from around midday or shortly after. This year has been much smoother because we have gained more experience over the years. We engaged pilgrims and agents alike in what we call an orientation. So this orientation initiative went a long way to preparing our pilgrims and agents adequately in terms of what to expect and what we also expect of them. So the cooperation and timely submission of their documents played, a role to some extent. And so, unlike previous years where we used to have no shows on our maiden flights and even subsequent flights, for this year we had full flights from the 1st to the 4th. It was only the 5th flight that we did not have full capacity because, yes, that was the total number of pilgrims who registered for Tamale. So it's been very smooth so far, and we expect Accra to be the same.
Mr. Hamza further urged all prospective pilgrims to comply with the laws of their host country to avoid any encounter with Saudi authorities.
They are leaving Ghana to another country, so they should conduct themselves as worthy ambassadors of this our great Republic of Ghana. There are laws within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that must be respected and upheld. As much as possible, we encourage our pilgrims to abide by these laws. And once that is done, we expect that their pilgrimage and their entire experience should be smooth and one without incidents. So that's the advice we have for them. And for their family members who are here and wondering what is going to be happening to their pilgrims for the next 1 month, we are giving them the assurance that they are going to be adequately taken care of. Plans have been made very well for their accommodation, feeding, transportation, virtually everything. So they are going to be in safe hands. They are going to be well taken care of. We have medical team and security personnel to help make sure that so that we can assure their family members that we will return after 1 month safe and sound, inshallah.
Executive Secretary of the Hajj Board, Alhaji Farouk Hamza.
You're still listening to Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. With me, Wilma Bobi Sakuman, and I'm doing this with Kweku Ediama Ansa. Now, some stories we've been bringing you. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, he's filed nomination form to contest the NPP presidential primaries just this afternoon. Also, the final group of pilgrims for 2023 Hajj scheduled to depart from the country tomorrow, June 17. Now, if you stay with us, we have more stories coming up, and students of Fuega Senior High School in the Volta region, they have been forced to have classes in staff common rooms and ICT lab due to inadequate infrastructure. Do stay with us. We have more coming your way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? Eh? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs, HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, residents in the Nogokpo Achivuta electoral area have been left in a state of shock following the discovery of the body of Christian Kwame Amuzu, a former assembly member, hanging from a rope in his living room. The incident is believed to be a case of suicide, although the reasons behind his actions remain unknown. The police in the area have taken custody of the body as investigations into the matter are underway. Jonas Agbagbafoto, the current assembly member for the area, in an interview with Citi News, stated that the community is cooperating with the police to determine the cause of the deceased former assembly member's actions.
2 days today, I have a call from a friend. Said my predecessor committed suicide. Simply means he hung himself. I asked why. They should keep quiet. Then I should quickly rush to them. And I quickly rushed to them. I opened the door. I see that it's true. My boss has hung himself, dead. And quickly I call on the police. They rush to the place and they now take him to their custody. So now everything is in the hand of the policemen. They are doing the necessary investigation. So we are waiting for them to bring out the results. And we are also in the house doing our necessary steps so that we know what is going on. So I just want to give this advice to the good people of Nogokpo that everybody should remain calm. Everybody should remain calm so that such a thing will not happen again in our community. Whatever is happening to you, master, try to share it with somebody. There you get the answer done for you to do such a thing.
You heard there the assembly member of Nogokpo Achiva electoral area, Jonas Agbagbafoto. Now, an economist and currency analyst at GCB Capital Limited, Courage Boti says it would be premature for the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to conclude that Ghana is steadily making economic progress after receiving the initial tranche of $600 million US, the bailout. Mr. Boti's statement comes in a response to a press release issued by an IMF mission staff led by Stefan Rudet. Following their visit to Ghana, the IMF acknowledged positive signs of stabilization in the Ghanaian economy, indicating some progress in the implementation of the bailout program. The conclusion of the first assessment of the visit of the program implementation was reached after the IMF team concluded their visit with the Ghanaian government on Thursday. There's more in the following report.
The two sides have been discussing Ghana's economic recovery plan for the past week. Various groups have been involved, including the Finance Ministry, the Bank of Ghana, Parliament, Labour and other interest groups, the President, his vice and other government officials. Top of the regular assessment included debt restructuring, revenue mobilization and expenditure cuts. Following the conclusion of this visit, an initial assessment of the program benchmarks will be conducted at the end of June to aid in the proper review of the deal in the fourth quarter of 2023 for the disbursement of the second tranche of $600 million US. Also, the government has committed to meeting structural targets, with the IMF already confirming signs of macroeconomic stability, softening inflation, increase in international reserves, and less volatile exchange rates. Meanwhile, economist Courage Boti believes it's too early for the fund to be making favorable projections about the Ghanaian economy.
I would say it's too early at this point, especially when we haven't seen the hardcore fiscal data. The government of Ghana hasn't really updated the fiscal position since the start of the year. So we, even for last year, 2022, officially what is on the website is data as at July, really. So we haven't seen the updated numbers in detail from the central government or the Ministry of Finance to make any deductions as to what the improvements are on the debt, on the fiscal side. On the debt side, we've just succeeded in exchanging 83 billion out of the 130 billion of worth of domestic debt targeted, really. And if you look at that in terms of the overall public debt portfolio, that is just about 20% of the total debt portfolio that has been exchanged. External debt exchange will just secure financing assurance as it stands, and no concrete negotiations have gone on to say, okay, we are saving X amount or Y amount, except that the program is targeting about 10.5 billion in savings, interest savings over the 3-year period for external debt restructuring. Yeah, so most of the challenges are still there.
You heard economist and currency analyst at GCB Capital Limited, Courage Boti, ending that news desk report filed by Ni Lati.
Now, the issue of individuals defaulting on loans from online credit facilities and facing humiliating treatment from the firms has garnered attention. According to reports, these individuals argue that their failure to repay the loans was not a deliberate act of negligence. It has come to light that some defaulters have even been compelled to leave their homes as a result of the embarrassment caused by loan recovery officials. There is more in the following report highlighting the experiences of these individuals who find themselves in difficult financial situations.
The increase in cost of living has led many people to rely on loans provided mostly by online lenders to manage their day-to-day activities. However, for those who are unable to meet the repayment deadlines, they face various forms of humiliation. Confidential conversations with some of these defaulters have revealed that these loans are often offered without the typical requirement of collateral. Instead, the exorbitant interest rates, which far exceed the baseline, create a nerve-wracking experience. But what does the financial practice say about these high interest charges being taken by these online credit facilities? Courage Boti, a financial analyst with GCB Capital Limited, shares more insight with Citi Business News.
There is no regulation on what the upper limit for interest rate should be for a loan, really. So it's a pricing decision, and you are in competition with others. So if you are offering loans, say at 50%, and another is offering at 40%, chances are a lot of people will troop to the 40% person. So you price based on your competition, you price based on your market and your clientele and your ability to maintain them or otherwise, really. But there is, I don't know of any cap on interest rate in Ghana that is you cannot go beyond this one. There is a minimum that banks will charge, which is the reference rate.
The surge in online loan apps has also given rise to debt shaming tactics employed by certain financial firms to recover their funds from defaulters. Some companies go to the extent of publicly posting pictures of defaulters online and sending defamatory messages to their contact list. Kofi Ansah, not his real name, tells Citi News the humiliation he suffered because he failed to meet the deadline for payment of his loan from one of the online loan operators.
He called me around 3:20, so by 3:45, then I sent them the money. Then before I saw, friends started sending me messages that they have sent about me to them. That I use them as a guarantor to take loan from them, loan of 200 from them, and that blah blah blah. They should tell me I've defaulted.
Kofi is not alone. Many others over the last few days have taken to social media to share their experiences with these loan app operators and how they have been subjected to debt shaming. Responding to this development, Madam Patricia Edusei, the Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, stated that such actions breach data privacy laws.
In the interim, whilst the police, the Bank of Ghana, and the Cybersecurity Authority are doing their investigations to track these app owners down, we are taking it upon ourselves as regulators of the data and the responsible authority for helping you to save your privacy. We are now educating the public about these apps, telling you to be aware, to be careful, to be conscious of the implications of downloading this app and the impact on your life, to your family and to your community and your workspace for taking these loans. It's not worth it. Because if you take a loan and suffer such an embarrassment, it's hard to turn the times back or to build your reputation again. It's now becoming a life and limb situation as some people are being physically attacked.
Aishatu, not her real name, who defaulted on her loan from a traditional credit facility, shares her experience with Citi News.
GB, I will quick credit for my GB or quick credit for me no almost started Juma 2019. But we can my GB 5 times.
I have taken a loan from Quick Credit. The business transactions relationship between the bank and myself dates back to 2019. However, it was the fifth loan that I defaulted. 12 men came here to demand their money, but all plea fell on deaf ears. They dragged me on the floor and locked my shop. Their debt recovery techniques is quite harsh. No one would want to borrow and default. I have been really humiliated that people call to ask if I have gone for loans and being shamed.
Almost Debbie, Emma, almost boys in us so me mo, a train me were from Edmi Pia Bontin, Emma Menquala made Chro Mojumanina, Emma Yenina Quabontin, Momo Locky shop.
Despite attempts by Citi News to obtain responses from these accused firms, they have been unresponsive. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana has issued a caution to the public regarding the operation of unauthorized loan apps. The bank has identified 97 such applications that engage in unlicensed lending activities, contravening the Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Institution Act 2016 Act 930. Some of the entities listed by the Bank of Ghana include Flash Cash, Quick Cash, Easy Access, GH Lending, Acon Credit, and Cash Coco.
Citi News says Emmanuel Opon filed the report.
Now, the Ministry of Energy and the Electricity Company of Ghana have taken steps to address the recurring power fluctuation challenges at the Koforidua-Asokore SDA Training College and the surrounding communities. For several years, the management, students and residents in the area have been facing issues such as low voltage, tripped lines leading to fires during rainfall, and unreliable power supply. These challenges have had a negative impact on the school, causing damage to computers and other equipment, disrupting teaching and learning activities. To resolve these issues, a campus re-electrification project costing over 1 million Ghana cedis has been initiated. The project involves installing a dedicated transformer for the school and improving the overhead power lines. It is expected to be completed by 13 July of the following month, ensuring a consistent and reliable supply of electricity on the campus. Addressing a gathering at the school to officially commence construction works for the campus re-electrification project, the principal of the college, Dr. Cecilia Ofosuya Odame, revealed how the erratic power situation caused injuries to some students.
Students are always in fear and run helter-skelter to take refuge. In the process, some injure themselves and others are traumatized. The power supply keeps on fluctuating. The unreliable nature of the power is a cause to worry because it affects smooth administrative and academic work. It also affects the studies of students, especially at night. You know, students, when there's no light, you know what happens. So the frequent power outage has resulted in damage of equipment like computers, printers, scanners, etc. The college has spent so much money on replacement. Technical experts have been consulted several on the problem, and they have advised us that the power distribution network needs to be improved.
Dr. Cecilia Ofosuya Odame is the Koforidua Asokori SDA Training College principal. Now, the Eastern Regional Manager of ECG, Engineer Cyril Adobia Itre, indicated that the benefits of the campus electrification project will extend beyond the boundaries of the school to the surrounding communities, thereby improving economic activities in the area.
SDA school has had this opportunity to benefit from this project that has been supported by government. What is the project all about? We are supposed to install a transformer that is dedicated to the school. You see the overhead lines here, we are going to improve upon them. Those are sagged, that when you see that when it rains, sometimes they touch and they spark. We'll look at all of that and improve upon it. This is a project that which we believe that when we do, you would have improved reliability. Your principal has indicated that you have had some challenges and we are sorry for that. The intention is to make sure everybody enjoys good, reliable electricity, and I believe that by the 13th of July, when we finish this project, the school and all the surrounding communities will experience reliable electricity, whether rain or shine.
You had the Eastern Regional Manager of ECG, Engineer Cyril Adobia Itre. We'll stay a little while longer in the Eastern region because the Security Council RegSec says it has put in place measures to strategically fight all the criminals terrorizing students in the regional capital, Koforidua. Over the past few weeks, 6 persons have been stabbed with their valuables taken away from them at night by a syndicate operating within Koforidua. Responding to a Citi News report on the surging crime in the regional capital, which has become a source of concern, the Eastern Regional Minister Seth Kwame Champong, who described the statistics as mind-boggling, says RegSec will stop at nothing to clamp down all activities of criminal elements.
We believe we need to lighten up the community. And this community is so big, it's so wide. It has 3 established institutions of the SDA mission here. And they wrote to us demonstrating their worry over low voltage issues. Fortunately, the Minister of Energy came to support us and using the sector agencies, primarily the Electricity Company of Ghana, who is here today to help us bring that issue to control. And they've given us a duration of a month to complete this work. Once we get it out of the woods in this yard, we are sure it will trickle down to the communities by design, as explained to us by the experts. Once they get it right on this campus, it is going to benefit the extended communities who tie in with them within the community. And so it is not just an exercise which will benefit only the SDA College of Education and other institutions. But it is going to benefit all the communities on their design where the lines extend to.
You had the Eastern Regional Minister, Seth Kwame Echampong.
Now, from the Eastern region, let's head to the Volta region because the Amfuega Senior High School in the North Dai district is faced with inadequate infrastructure, forcing students to have classes in the staff common room, the library, and the ICT laboratory. Now, the students are appealing to authorities to complete projects that were started 11 years ago and construct new buildings to ensure smooth academic activities. Desmond Selassie Agor visited the school and provides details in this report.
Established 58 years ago, the Amfuega Senior High School currently has a population of over 1,500 students and about 150 teaching staff. However, the school continues to grapple with a severe infrastructural deficit. Insufficient dormitories and classrooms pose challenges in accommodating all boarding students, while teachers have resorted to using classrooms as staff common rooms due to the lack of proper administrative spaces. Some teachers at Amfuega Senior High School explained to Citi News that the decision to convert classrooms into a staff common room was as a result of the inadequate infrastructure within the school. The situation is far from ideal, but it was a necessary measure considering the changing weather conditions.
Where we are sitting, it used to be a classroom block, but due to challenges, we have to convert the place into staff common room. And as a result, other classrooms have also been converted to ICT lab, library, and the school clinic in order to meet other challenges as well. This has actually affected our staff and students' enrollment, and as a result, we are facing challenges as far as infrastructure is concerned. And our major challenge is the administration block under construction. And we hope if it is completed, most of those classrooms will be released for the students to use, and it will minimize the effects of the infrastructure needs of the school.
The school's dining hall, which serves over 1,500 students daily, is also affected by the inadequate infrastructure. A new dining hall complex that was started years ago remains unfinished, forcing students to eat in batches and stand while being served their meals. The students expressed that the infrastructural challenges are negatively impacting their academic activities and are appealing to authorities for assistance in overcoming these obstacles.
Looking at the teachers taking over our various classroom blocks as their staff common room, which has made students stay in uncompleted buildings to carry on their academic work, which is not helping. And currently, one of the major problems that we are facing too is the water crisis. Sometimes, because of this problem, we eat into the normal class lessons hours, which affects us a lot. We, the final year students, we need to come to school early, study, and then keep on moving. But here lies the case, there will be no water. We have to wait till water comes in before we take our bath and come to the classroom to study, which is affecting us very well.
In my school, we have 2 dining halls, but one is uncompleted. The government and many non-governmental organizations have promised to help in the completion of the project, but till date, over decades, they've not done that. So I'm pleading with the government to come to our aid so that maybe by next year we can have a new dining hall or assembly hall completed.
I find it difficult when it's raining. We are overpopulation. People need to wait first session for the other session. Since I came to this school, see the new dining hall is under construction, but still it's still like that. If it will benefit all, if it's to help us complete the dining hall for the students, so feel free and enjoy their meals. Thank you.
During the school speech and prize-giving day, Headmaster Albert Dodo in his address highlighted the ongoing infrastructural challenges faced by the school. Despite numerous appeals, improvements have not yet been seen. He mentioned that the completion of the ongoing administration block will provide teachers with a comfortable common room and help reclaim the converted classrooms. The headmaster spoke with Citi News about the issue emphasizing the need for assistance to address the school's infrastructural challenges.
Our current student population is 1,910, and we continue to rely on dining hall shed that is provided by the PTA so many years ago, and the space is not enough for dining, and it prevents or it impedes smooth academic work because the students spend a lot of time in the dining hall, and by the time they get back to classroom for lesson, they have done a lot outside which will not augur well as an academic institution. Currently, we are using 6 classrooms as offices. So if this project is completed, we may be able to retrieve as many as 6 classrooms, and there will not be the need for the government to come and then build a new classroom for us for now. So we are appealing to the stakeholders, especially the district assembly and the government, to come to our aid and then complete the 2 major projects for us as soon as possible.
In an interview with Citi News, the Municipal Chief Executive for North Dine, Edmond Kujuata, assured that the government is working towards completing the abandoned project.
I'm not oblivious of the needs of this school. Right from 2017, I've been clear about the number of infrastructural deficits and the other tools that the school needs in order to reach the level that we all aspire, that is to achieve academic excellence. And so the first thing I had to do is to even make sure that we have a 3-unit classroom block that's just adjacent the 12-unit classroom block, the giant block that we see behind us and all that. And then, of course, if you look on our left, we have this administration block that is ongoing. And then where the program itself is taking place is the dining hall complex, very big project, which started, of course, because before I came, but it was nowhere near here, and then we make sure that we started at least using it. It's not complete, and then we got to finish it. Indeed, if you ask the headmaster, anybody who knows the 4 walls of the school will tell you that the completion of these 2 projects alone will be enough to solve the infrastructure deficit.
Reporting for Citi News, I'm Desmond Salasiago.
Back in studio here in Accra, I'm Wilma Bobisa Coleman with Kweku Ediama Ansa. You're listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, Citi TV, Citi FM kickstarts live show of Voice Factory Season 5 tomorrow. We'll bring you details of what to expect soon. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
After a keenly competitive audition, we finally have our top 10 contestants for The Voice Factory Season 5, and they are A.G. Wilson, Riguello, Cleos, Ernest, Bella, Jeriel, Cielo B, Titi, Princess, Serum. For the next 13 weeks, the city will come alive as we bring to your screens live performances of Season 5 of The Voice Factory every Saturday. Tune into Citi TV at 6:30 p.m. to witness how raw talents are transformed into superstars. The Voice Factory Season 5 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Nalo Solutions, Eddie's Pizza, McBerry Twist Cupcakes, and Copen Hospitality.
Out of over 10 million Ghanaians employed, only 1.9 million are actively contributing to SNIT. For most people, their retirement plan is either their children or savings. What if your child is unable to care for you? Long life depletes your savings, or you suffer permanent disability. Financial support from loved ones in your old age is a blessing, but you should not rely solely on them. Whether you're a fashion designer, an online entrepreneur, a lawyer, or a business owner, today, life is good, but tomorrow may be different. Register with SNIT and sign up for SEED for old age pension, invalidity pension, and survivor's lump sum benefit for your nominated dependents. Take control of your future. Ayo Udachio, Fano Pass now. Dial *711*9# to pay your contributions. Contact SNIT on 0302 611 622 or on socials at SNIT Ghana. SNIT, we deliver on our promise. T's and C's apply.
SSNIT.
Happy birthday to you.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays,
ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. We'll go to Parliament because the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Samuel Nate George, is urging the Business Committee of Parliament to prioritize the tabling of the Proper Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Value Bill 2021 for consideration. The report on the bill, which aims to prescribe LGBT activities and provide protection and support for children and individuals who are victims of LGBT, was laid in the House on March 30, 2023 by the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. During the presentation of the business statement for the upcoming week, Samuel Nate George, who is the lead advocate of the bill, called for swift action to be taken on it.
That has already had its report from committee late, the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill, that they should table that for business of the House. We can begin to sit on it and do the second reading pending other government business. So if they can table it for next week, we'll be grateful.
You heard there the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Samuel Nate George. Now, in response, the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Seiwusu, stated that the House will need to consult with the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, to determine the appropriate course of action due to some legal actions against the bill.
I've been advised that on the bill on proper sexual and human rights, in respect of that bill, there's a court action pending with Mr. Speaker has been made a party. The Speaker brought the court action to the attention of leaders. And so I think in considering program or not programming it, you may wish to discuss with the Speaker and what steps you may take before you program it.
You heard the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Seiwusu.
Now, the Municipal Security Council of Ablikuma West has identified a two-story building located at Otujo in Dansuman to be demolished. The council has determined that the building poses a safety risk to the occupants of neighboring structures. They emphasized that developers are required to obtain the necessary documentation from the Municipal Assembly before commencing any form of construction. City News' Philip Nilate has more in this report.
The caution from the Municipal Security Council, MUSEC of Ablikuma West, to developers follows plans to demolish a two-story building with structural defect at Otujo. This action by the council comes in light of recent incidents involving the collapse of high-rise buildings. During a meeting with the owner of the building and residents of adjacent structures, Chairman of MUSEC, George Cyril Bray, urged residents of the surrounding buildings to relocate before Wednesday, June 21, 2023. Mr. Bray asked developers to secure permits before initiating any construction projects.
It has come to the notice of the Municipal Security Committee that there is a building within the Otojo enclave that unfortunately there is a structural defect such that the building has tilted, and if care is not taken, within the next couple of days, we would have the building falling off and possibly killing human beings. Unfortunately for the developer, as we speak, the developer does not have any permit whatsoever from the assembly to put up that structure. So as it stands now, we would want to inform the neighbors of that particular structure to, as a matter of urgency, move out of their apartments. We are going to engage the 48 Engineers Regiment who have the expertise on some of these structures and the way to handle it, to come in and do further checks on the building as it stands now, if the checks from the 48th Engineers Regiment proves that the building is indeed sinking and collapsing, then the building must be demolished as soon as practicable.
A relative of the owner of the building, Gambo Idris Wangabi, called on the assembly to carry out a comprehensive structural integrity test before taking any further action.
I call for that. I call for the integrity, structural integrity, and the soil test and all these things, to the columns and all this. And I trust my workers did a good job there, and I think when it's tested, things will be okay. Well, assembly, they are in a state of fear. They don't want anything to happen, so definitely they will act like that. But I believe when we go through the engineers again, something can be done to it.
Mr. Cyril Bray also added that some structures as Otojo, which have been built on waterways and without permit, will soon be demolished.
So what we've done so far is, since I came into office, I set up a committee to look into all the structures that have sprung up down there. It was made up of works and housing, a team from wildlife, water resources, and all that. They came up with some recommendations, which we've circulated to all the bodies that were part of the committee. What we're trying to do now is some of the buildings are already done and are being inhabited. So we are looking at the recommendations vis-a-vis what is on the ground and what can be done. We have about 500 to 600 structures in there. And I can assure you, some will definitely go. We are now going to engage the community to let them appreciate what our findings and all are. And then we let them understand the roadmap and when we are going to demolish, because we just don't also get up and go and demolish somebody's property.
The Ablekuma West Municipal Assembly has stated that buildings put up in the municipality must meet the right standard. The Assembly is also not relenting on its efforts to ensure that buildings sited on waterways are demolished. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Philip Ni Latte.
Now, the highly anticipated musical reality show, The Voice Factory Season 5, is set to begin its live shows on Saturday, June 17. The show, powered by Citi TV and Citi FM, would air every Saturday for the next 13 weeks. The Voice Factory aims to transform the musical careers of 11 talented contestants who have been carefully selected from across the country. These contestants will showcase their vocal abilities and compete against each other for the ultimate prize of becoming the winner of The Voice Factory Season 5. The following report has more details.
After a keenly competitive audition, we finally have our top 10 contestants for The Voice Factory Season 5, and they are
A.G. Wilson, Riguello, Cleos, Ernest, Bella, Jeriel, CLOB, Citi, Princess, Serum.
For the next 13 weeks, the city will come alive as we bring to your screens live performances of Season 5 of The Voice Factory every Saturday. Tune into Citi TV at 6:30 p.m. to witness how raw talents are transformed into superstars.
Everyone is excited. I'm sure the contestants are excited to begin the chase for the biggest thing in their lives. What would you tell us? What are we expecting tomorrow at the very first live show?
It's not only the contestants, we all are very excited. I am super excited because tomorrow is going to be the beginning, of a 13-week period where we are going to put raw talents in the factory, and then at the end of it all we will have amazing products come out. So in the coming weeks we just want everyone, music lovers, Citi family, and the whole Ghana to expect electrifying performances. They should also expect some beautiful talents who are going to be showing what they can do. Now I say that even the very first person who will go out, due to eviction, will be taking something away with them, because there's no way you'll be at Voice Factory and go back same way as you came in. And I can tell you that in a period of about 2 weeks, since they've been preparing, so much has changed. So watch out for a music reality show of a kind. This is very different, nothing like you've seen before.
Ideally, we know that we would have expected 10 contestants. We understand we have a wild card.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, the wild card, I must be very honest with you that those who came for the auditions were super. It was very difficult for the judges to select the 10 finalists. And so the judges, in their generosity, decided to just give one more person a chance to be part of the whole thing. And that's how come we have 11. But even that, the search is still very on. And who knows, that person might even be the winner, Wouldn't be so ideal just to send somebody home on the first day. But you need to hear them again and again so that you can assess them properly and then make your decisions and then vote for who you think should stay and who should be going home.
The Voice Factory Season 5 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Nalo Solutions, Eddie's Pizza, McBerry Twist Cupcakes, and Copen Hospitality.
The report was filed by Citi News' Kweku Ediama Answer. So you want to keep your dial on Citi TV tomorrow at 6:30 to watch the first show that is going to happen.
In other stories, 12 suspects who were arrested on Wednesday for allegedly retailing unlicensed medicines are expected to be put before a court for prosecution. The suspects were apprehended at different locations within the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in the national capital for selling unlicensed over-the-counter medicines and aphrodisiacs. The operation to apprehend the suspects was carried out by a tripartite team comprising the Pharmacy Council, the Ghana Police Service, and the Food and Drugs Authority.
Well, that's all time would allow us for on today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Wilma Ububisa Coleman, and I did this with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Up next is the afternoon's edition